Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard back here with another Wi-Fi battle. Exciting day today because it is week 1 of the NGDL4. So for those of you who haven't watched the last episode of the Captain's Table, this is the next season of the Killer Nachos Draft League tournament. It's going to operate basically the same way as the last one did. If you want more information on that, go ahead and check out that last episode of the Captain's Table. So our week 1 opponent is actually going to be Fulham, a very good player from the Discord server, and as you can see, he has a very strong and well-balanced team there. Nothing I wasn't expecting knowing his full draft lineup. Looking at my team, you can see the obvious, that is this season that I did decide to draft an Uber, that being Xerneas, and also bring in a few familiar faces from the team last season. So this should definitely be a great match, and we're going to get into it. So looking at his team, I was thinking he might want to lead with the Tapu Koko. So he actually does end up leading with the Tapu Koko, as I decided to lead with my Emolga Rocky, the Flying Squirrel, to go ahead and try and block his ability to use electric moves. He is going to get the Electric Surge to set the electric terrain on the battlefield. So he is actually just going to go straight for a Dazzling Gleam here, trying to take me out. That does knock me to 5 health, but I do survive in the red. I was Focus Sash, so I would have survived that anyway. And he does take Life Orb recoil damage as I do go for a Volt Switch. Not going to do much of anything, but I do get the mandatory switch. And off of that, I am going to come in with my Hitmon Bruce Lee. So he is going to switch out here, probably fearing the Choice Scarf, which I actually am. So he is going to come in with the Whimsicott, as I do go for the Earthquake, hoping he would stay in there. So not going to do too much of anything to this thing, unfortunately. So this turn, I do have to go for the switch. I am Choice Scarf locked into Earthquake, so I am going to come back in with my Emolga as fodder, as he is going to go for the Moonblast, which will be more than enough to finish me off there and drop me down to 5 Pokemon. So then I'm going to come in with my Aggron, the Dragonzord, ready to go. And he is going to go for the switch, doesn't want to get taken out with the Steel move. So he is going to come in with the Mind Shao, actually, as I am going to go for the Mega Evolution into Mega Aggron. And I'm just going to take this opportunity to go for the Stealth Rock to get the entry hazard set up on his side of the field, since I presume there will be a lot of switching in this game. So I am going to go for a switch of my own this turn. I don't want to take a fighting attack from this thing. I want to try and keep Aggron healthy, so I'm going to come in with my Xerneas, predicting that the Fairy Aura is going to come into play, but he actually makes a nice play and goes for the Swords Dance instead to get that sharp attack increase to set up on me, as that is going to be it for the electric terrain. So I am going to go for the switch here, fearing the Poison Jab. I don't think I can survive one at +2, even with the defensive investment that I have. So I'm going to come in with my Incineroar Cane and get the Intimidate to lower his attack, as he does go for the Poison Jab, and that is going to hit me down to by about 1/3. But unfortunately, he does get the Poison, which really does suck. That is going to make it so I definitely can't take 2. So I do regain some health from the leftovers and then take some damage from the poison. And then he is just going to go for the high jump kick this turn. And that will definitely be enough to finish off my Incineroar, dropping me down to 4 Pokemon. So not a good start to the match for me at all. Have to try and turn things around. So I'm going to come back in with the Aggron. I know I can survive at least one high jump kick thanks to the filter ability, but he actually misses the high jump kick, which is actually going to take him down by half health, which was great for me. That is going to let me hit him with an Iron Head in return to finish off the Mind Shao and drop him down to 5 Pokemon. So then he is going to come back in with Tapu Koko and take some damage from the rocks. And he is going to get the Electric Surge to set the electric terrain once again. And I am going to go for a switch here. I don't want to take any damage on my Aggron right now, so I am going to come in with my Goodra. I am max special defense with an Assault Vest, so he is just going to go for the Volt Switch, which isn't going to do much of anything to me despite the Life Orb and the electric terrain. So he is going to get a mandatory switch off of that, and he is going to come in with the Metagross and take some damage from the rocks. So I am forced to switch out once again here. I don't want to take any kind of physical attack from this thing since I am specially defensive. So I'm going to switch back in with the Aggron as he does go for an Ice Punch. Not going to do anything to me. I am max physical defense as well. So he is going to switch out once again. Not much else he can do to me, I guess. So he's going to come in with the Cloyster and take some damage from the rocks, as I am going to go for the Earthquake, just in case he did decide to stay in. So that is going to knock this thing down to about a third health. So this turn, he is just going to go straight for a Hydro Pump. I did stay in because I couldn't risk this thing trying to Shell Smash and set up on me. So that is going to hit me down to about a third health, unfortunately. But I am just going to hit him with an Iron Head in return, which will take out the Cloyster and drop him down to 4 Pokemon. So then he is going to come in with Greninja and take some damage from the rocks. And that is going to force me to switch out. I do want to try and save Aggron for later, so I am going to switch back in with my Goodra, and he is just going to go for the Hydro Pump, and that isn't going to do much of anything to me at all. Again, being max special defense with an Assault Vest, he's going to take some Life Orb damage there, and that is going to be it for the Electric Terrain. So he is going to go for the switch once again here. Probably doesn't have anything good to hit me with, so he is going to come back in with the Metagross and take more damage from the rocks, as I do go for a Thunderbolt, which is going to not do much of anything to this thing, unfortunately. And once again, that is going to force me to switch out this turn. I don't want to get hit with any type of physical attack once again, so I will come back in with the Aggron, as he does go for a Meteor Mash this time. That is going to hit me down to about a quarter, and then he is going to outspeed me this turn and go for the Earthquake, revealing he is not choice itemed, as I thought he may potentially have been earlier, and unfortunately that will be enough to finish off my Aggron and drop me down to 3 Pokemon. So then I am going to come back in with Hitmonlee, and that is going to force him to switch. He doesn't want to take an attack from me here, so he is going to come back in with the Whimsicott, and he is going to take damage from the rocks, as I do just go for a knockoff here, which is going to hit him a little below half and get rid of his Expert Belt, which was nice. So I am going to switch out once again. I don't want to take any damage on the Hitmonlee right now. So I'm going to come in with my Xerneas once again, and the Fairy Aura will come back into play, as he actually double switches, probably predicting a switch on my side, and he is going to come back in with the Tapu Koko and take more damage from the rocks and get the Electric Surge, set up the Electric Terrain once more. So here he is going to definitely outspeed me. He's just going to go for a Thunderbolt, trying to get as much damage as possible. That does hit me down to about a third, and unfortunately he does get the paralysis on me there, which really does suck. He does take Life Orb recoil damage, and then I'm just going to hit him with a Moonblast in return, which will finish off the Tapu Koko and drop him down to 3 Pokemon. So then he is going to come back in with Greninja and take more damage from the rocks. And he is going to go for a Hydro Pump here. He actually does miss, which was nice, but unfortunately I get fully paralyzed this turn, so I can't take advantage of that. Nothing I can do. So I decided this time to go for the switch, thinking he will Hydro Pump again. So I do go back into my Goodra, as he does Hydro Pump again, and that isn't going to do much of anything to me once again there. And then he's going to take some more damage from the Life Orb. So he is going to go for the switch once again, back into his Whimsicott, basically his fodder, I would assume. He does take more damage from the rocks, and I do go for the Thunderbolt here, hoping he would stay in. So that is going to hit him into the red, but I do get the Paralyze, which was nice. That is going to be it for the Electric Terrain. So he does still have the Prankster ability, so he is still able to outspeed me with status moves, so he is going to go for the Tailwind here to go ahead and get a speed increase for his team for several turns. I am just going to go for the Flamethrower in return, which will finish this thing off and drop him down to 2 Pokemon. So then he is going to come back in with Metagross and take some more damage from the rocks. And I am going to go for the switch here. I know he's going to outspeed me now because of the Tailwind, and I need to buy some time. So I'm going to switch back in with my Xerneas. And again, my Fairy Aura is going to come back into play, as he does go for an Ice Punch. I am defensive set, so I am able to take that pretty well, surviving with 33 HP in the red. But he is just going to go for it again this turn, which will definitely finish off my Xerneas, dropping me down to 2 Pokemon as well. So then I am going to come back in with Gudra. I am hoping that I could potentially live an Ice Punch here since I know he'll still outspeed me. He does go for it, and unfortunately I am not able to take that, so that is going to finish my Gudra and drop me to just one Pokemon, as that is going to be it for his Tailwind, which was critical for me there. So finally, I'm going to come back in with Hitmonlee, and I am Choice Scarf, so I know I'm going to outspeed him. I have to go for the knockoff because I need a guaranteed kill on this thing. That will definitely finish off the Metagross, dropping him down to just one Pokemon as well. So finally, he is going to come back in with Greninja, and it looks like it is all going to come down to this here. He does take damage from the rocks, and I do go for the knockoff since I have to. He will survive that in the red, unfortunately, but I do get rid of his Life Orb, which was nice. He hits me with a Hydro Pump in return, which drops me down to about a quarter health. And then he actually reveals he does have the Water Shuriken this turn, so he goes for it. He gets actually all 3 hits, very luckily, but even more lucky, I do hang on with 1 HP there, which was insane. That is going to let me hit him with one more knockoff, which will finish off the Greninja, and that is game. So I won that one 1-0 against Fulham, but that was an incredible game. Insanely close, insanely competitive, definitely could have gone either way. Probably one of the closest games I've ever had playing Pokemon. So, wow. Wow. It was a real roller coaster, but it feels great to start this season off with a win. And yeah, hopefully we can keep it up. So thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So that's it, and we'll see you next time.